So 2026 is around the corner, and I am putting this video out for two types of people, actually three. Now, the first group of people are those people that have a dropshipping business or they have an e-commerce business and they are looking for how to scale that business to at least ₦1 million a month come 2026. Or you are probably the second group of people where you've been hearing about dropshipping, you've been hearing about e-commerce, but you don't know how to get started. Don't worry, this video should show you how to get started. And then the third group of people are those people that have been following this channel since the beginning of the year. The reason why I say these people are also important is because at the beginning of the year, I set a target for one of my e-commerce stores to do 24.9 million naira. As of today, 20th of December, that particular store has done 23.9 million. So about 17.5 came from online sales only, while 5.5 thereabout came from offline sales. And in this particular video, I'm going to talk about 9 key lessons or 9 key things I've done to be able to scale this particular store to ₦1 million a month. So let me kick things off by answering one very common question that everybody asks me. What is the difference between dropshipping and e-commerce? Okay, good. Now, I want you to understand that in e-commerce, there are different business models. Okay, dropshipping is a business model in e-commerce or under e-commerce. There is product arbitrage, there is mini importation, there is white labeling or private labeling, there is mini scale production. There are different business models within e-commerce. Dropshipping is just one of the easiest and cheapest ones to start with. Okay? So don't think dropshipping and e-commerce are different. They are not. Dropshipping is like a subset or a child of e-commerce, right? And let me give you a quick example of the different business models. So dropshipping is the first one we know. Dropshipping is basically you have a customer and you have a supplier. You serve as the middleman between the customer and the supplier. So the customer wants to buy, let's say they want to buy this Apple mouse, okay? Instead of them going to the supplier, they will come and meet you because you promoted the product maybe online or on WhatsApp or using meta advertising, whatever it might be, and then they've sent you a DM or they've gone to your website to buy the product from you. You would then go and meet the supplier and give them the contact details and the delivery details for your customer so that they can deliver the product directly to your customer. Your customer ideally pays you money, you pay your supplier, and then you keep whatever that is left. If you run ads, you remove the money you spent on ads, things like that. Now, this is one of the cheapest and easiest models to get started because you don't need to hold stock. Your supplier holds the stock. That's why most of the videos I say that, okay, when you want to start with e-commerce, start with dropshipping. Now, another easy one to start with is what we call product arbitrage. Now, for product arbitrage, let's say you want to buy this particular iPhone. Okay, now, for this particular iPhone, it costs, the supplier is selling it to you at 450,000 naira. Okay, so you buy maybe 10 pieces of that iPhone. So that means you spent how much? That's 4.5 million. You can then resell that same product, this iPhone, to other people, but you sell it to them at 600,000 naira. So your profit margin is 150,000 naira. Okay, so that's product arbitrage. The only difference between dropshipping and product arbitrage is you've already invested your own money to buy the stock. So the stock sits with you. Mini importation, again, you take maybe like around for 1 to maybe 3 to 5 million naira. You go to China or you get agents in China, you buy products, you import it into Nigeria, and then you sell. Okay, that's pretty much another type of business model in e-commerce. Now, this is very important because when you are starting your e-commerce business or your e-commerce journey, you, not another person, you need to decide which one fits right for you or fits well for you, that sort of thing. Now, let's talk about the difference between e-commerce and traditional commerce or retail. The reason why this is important is because with traditional commerce or retail, majority of the time, people go and buy the product. So you go to the market by yourself and you pick the product. With e-commerce, you, the business owner, you have to deliver the product, right? So most times people buy product without them seeing the product. That's the main problem with e-commerce. And that's why payment on delivery is a very big issue. Okay, Again, when I started my first serious e-commerce store back in like 2017, 2018, I started with payment on delivery. I've said it in a few videos on this particular channel. But once I got to 2021 and I'd already gone through a few scammers, yes, I was scammed a few times by potential customers, right? A lot of people think that it's businesses that always scam customers. No. Customers scam businesses as well. And I've seen it happen a lot of times, and it still happens till today, right? But anyways, before I start to vent my anger on this video, one of the things that I stopped doing was payment on delivery, right? I have a particular video. I talk about how I do it and how and the way you can do it for yourself. Now, before you go and watch that video, I want you to understand that you can't avoid people asking for payment on delivery. This particular e-commerce store that I'm using as an example for this particular channel throughout this year, I showed different times that people also ask for payment on delivery, and we tell them, ho-ha, we don't do payment on delivery. A lot of customers, they see it on the page, on our product pages. They see it on our website. They see it on our Instagram page. They see it on Facebook. But yet they still come and ask on WhatsApp, and we tell them the same thing. We don't do payment on delivery. Sometimes those same people, they come and message you again after like maybe a day or two that, oh, are you sure we can't do payment on delivery? And you have to stay consistent and say no. Now, the reason why we don't do payment on delivery, or why I don't do payment on delivery, is because I have already gone through Shaggy, and I genuinely don't think that the kind of products I sell to the kind of customers I target, they don't need payment on delivery. I have positioned and built a brand that shows that we are legitimate. You invest in things like social proof. You invest in things like your customer service, where they can call, pick up a phone and call somebody and talk to somebody every single time. You invest in things like sharing tracking information, tracking details, things like that. You know, when you invest in all those kind of things, your customers will not be asking you for payment on delivery. That's number one. Number two, the reason why most customers ask for payment on delivery is also because and this is something I just recently found out when I started looking at a lot of people's e-commerce stores, you are selling more than one thing. So you are selling home appliances and you are selling shoes. They don't correlate. So you look a bit disjointed. Those are one of the issues where customers will be like, how do I know that this is a legitimate business, that they didn't just pick pictures from the internet, that sort of thing, right? But anyways, I'm not going to go in depth on how you want to solve your payment on delivery problems. I have a video that you can go and watch after this one, okay? But now let's talk about the real deal of how to get started with e-commerce in Nigeria. So one of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of newbies in e-commerce do is they first go and look for the product that they want to sell online. They say that, this particular product, I can put a lot of margin on top of it. Wow, this product is a trending product. This product will sell well. It will end in premium tiers. And I'm saying this because you have to reverse engineer the entire process. What I mean by that is you start from the customer. You start from the customer in the sense where I have a particular framework that is called the PDP framework. It stands for problem, data, and then product. So basically, in summary, the PDP framework is you first identify the problem people have. I'll give you a very good example. There is a particular business that I've started to see online, and there are three ladies. Well, there were two, now I see there are three ladies. And what they sell is they sell these sort of like waist shapers, right? I don't know, do you call them waist shapers or you call them tummy tuckers? I don't even know what they call them. But is it tummy corset or something like that? I can't remember. I'll look for their page and I'll put you on the channel when we are editing this video. But one of the key things that you need to understand is those people, they've identified a problem. Ladies want to look good in dresses. They want to look good in jeans. They want to look good in, they want their hips to look good, all those kind of things. So those ladies, they are showing you the problem because they themselves, they are quite on the big side. But once they use the product that they are selling, automatically that belly disappears, that shape comes out, that there's a quick and immediate result, that sort of thing. So if you don't have money for BBL, you don't have money to go to, or you don't want to spend 2 years in the gym, patronize those guys, and the product is like 5,000 naira. The way they even do their content, I don't know if they're running any ads. I'll probably check. But if they're running ads, they are making millions, if not billions at the moment, right? And that's exactly what you need to do in your own e-commerce business. Start from the customer first. Understand what the problem is. Understand their pain point. Understand their passion point, depending on the product you sell. And then reverse engineer that process. Don't go and look for the product first and say that, this product, because it's 2,000 naira, I can sell it for 10,000. you have made your first mistake and you're going to flop. Now, once you've identified a gap between what your customer needs and what the market currently has, that's what you would call your product, right? Good. Now, you have a product to sell. Okay. Do you just start selling 1,000 products? Do you just start selling 10,000 products? Do you just start selling 1 million products? No, you first test the market. So you have a forecast, right? Most times you want to start a forecast of maybe, depending on the arrangement you have with your supplier. Ideally, if you are drop shipping, you can start with zero stock. That's one of the reasons why most people should start with drop shipping. That's what I advise. I started with drop shipping, right? But if you know you can afford it, you can also invest in stock, right? But when you're investing in stock, you need a forecast. A forecast basically is pretty much what you are intending to sell or what you expect to sell within a time period. So let's say for this particular year, my forecast for this particular store was 24.9 million naira. That was the forecast. So when you are doing your own business, what is your own forecast? How much do you want to make at the end of the year? How much do you want to make at the end of the month? That kind of thing. Because what we did internally was we took that forecast of 24.9 million and then we split it into different months during the year. And we knew that, okay, for some months, business will be slow because the products that we sell don't sell during those periods. But then during certain peak periods, it will pick up. And we did our forecast based on that. That's something that you need to do in your business as well. Your business, ideally, and I'm saying this I need more information about your business, but ideally, your business will not sell the same number of products each and every month. It's impossible. Not impossible, but it's very difficult for that to happen. At some point, you would sell more or you would sell less. It's just how Mother Nature and the universe works. It's just what it is. Right? If you sell gym products, ideally, beginning of the year, because of, new year, new me, new resolution, things like that, new goals, all of that, you will probably make a lot of your sales at the beginning of the year or during summer period versus when everybody is eating jollof rice or drinking during Christmas. You get what I mean? That sort of thing. So you need to understand that. Now, with forecast, there are two types of forecast. There is a sales forecast and then there is a demand forecast. Demand basically is units. So now the key difference between the two is a sales forecast is revenue based. A demand forecast is units or products based. I even have a calculator that I typically use. So this used to be an Excel sheet. But what I did was, again, not everybody understands Excel or not everybody likes Excel. So I've made it into an app and I'll show you what our app looks like. So this is Oja Digital. To get to this particular page, all you need to do is put in www.ojadigital.com in your URL and you would get here, right? Now, some of you prefer using this with the white background, but if you're like me, you'd probably want to use it in the dark mode. Okay, now once you get to Oja Digital, you would see that I have included a lot of different tools that would help you with your e-commerce journey. So things like meta ads checklist, a ROAS calculator, a pricing calculator, your break-even calculator, even something that would help you calculate your tax, stuff like that. All right, but where I want you to go when you're creating your forecast or working on your forecast is revenue and traffic. Okay, this particular calculator is used when you want to calculate the amount of traffic, which is website visitors or unique visitors that you want to come to your maybe product page, or you want to send you a message on WhatsApp, things like that. Okay, and it's in monthly and yearly calculators. So like I said, we start with the yearly calculator and then we now start with we then move on to the monthly targets. So let's say your target revenue. So this is your sales forecast. Sales forecast, target revenue, they're the same thing. Let's say you want to make 10 million naira, right? Let's say you want to make 10 million naira and the cost of your average products, this is dependent on you, but the cost of your average product is, let's say, 15,000 naira. So 15,000 naira is the cost of your average product, whatever it is you're selling. That's up to you. Now, desired conversion rate. So out of, let's say, 10 people that message you, how many of them turn to a sale? Most times with e-commerce businesses is actually between 0.5 and 3%. I say 0.5 because in Nigeria, there is no access to a lot of credit. So a lot of people will come in, ask you plenty questions, but they will not end up patronizing you. So I'm just going to put 1% for your desired conversion rate. Even my own particular e-commerce store I'm using as an example in this video, the conversion rate was 0.9. And your conversion rate will differ different times of the year. Beginning of the year, when people don't have a lot of money, you know how long January can be, you would typically see a very low conversion rate, that sort of thing, right? And this is pretty much what you will get in terms of your results. So in terms of numbers of units per year, you need to sell 667 products at a average cost of 15,000 Naira. Okay, now Nigerians, we currently are what? Give or take, let's be conservative here, we are at least 200 million people. You selling 667 products at 15,000 Naira to at least let's say you run ads and you targeted maybe again 66,000 people here using your ads. All of a sudden, getting 10 million Naira in a year doesn't seem impossible, right? And this is how I want you to always use this particular tool. So go to ojadigital.com. You will see different tools that you can use for your e-commerce business. Your pricing calculators, your costing calculators, all of them are in here, and they are very, very easy for you to use and understand. Okay, so let's go back to the video. So now you've learned about forecasts. Now, most times I would suggest that you want to work with a sales forecast. The reason why I'm saying sales forecast is because the odds that you know which particular product you can sell at the beginning is very, very slim. So just work with a sales-based forecast and test different products at the beginning. Once you identify certain products that work well, you can now also have a demand forecast. I'll give you an example. Let's use this cord. You can start your dropshipping business or start your mini importation business just selling phone accessories. So you sell earbuds, you sell power banks, all sorts of things. What you then notice is that this particular cord is your best seller after maybe your first 2-3 months. When you are restocking, what are you going to restock? Are you going to restock the power bank that do not sell or the earbuds that do not sell? No, you will restock this. Right now, because you now know that, okay, this is what is in demand and this is what is moving sales, you will then reverse engineer, or no, I've used that word too many times today. You will then take a look at your sales forecast and make sure that it aligns with the cost of this particular cord. So you're going to go back to your, the demo I just showed you, and you're going to put in the numbers using this particular cost of the cord or price of the cord, right? Because that's now your new AOV, average order value, all right? It sounds complex. It is not. Watch this thing again. Take it step by step and you'll be fine. The reason I'm telling you this is important is because you can, and this is a mistake that I once made, you can go and overstock on something that will not sell and it will not move. I have a video on how you can get rid of the overstock, but before we go and watch that video, that's something that you should avoid where possible. Okay, so please make sure you don't start with a demand forecast. Start with a sales forecast, right? Use that to then use your first maybe like 1 to 3 months to understand what is selling well to your customers. Because again, remember, it's customer first. It's not product first. It's customer first. It's the customer that is giving you money. So it's what they want, you must provide. Okay? So don't say you want to force them to buy something. What if they don't buy it? You're screwed. So after you've done your sales forecast and you've identified that, okay, this is the winning product or the winning products, because you can have more than one product, then you will now go and do a demand forecast based on the average order value of that particular winning product or products. Okay? Please, this is a very important step that a lot of people miss. And this is what causes big problems. So now you've identified your winning products. Congratulations to you and your family. But what I've seen a lot of people do in their store is they then go and invest in stock, forgetting that you have to market and promote the stock to get the stock into the hands of the customer. And remember, this is an e-commerce business. So you have to go to channels where you can sell the products online. Okay? Which is Meta, Google, which other platform again? Emails. If you want to do cold emails, that's up to you. You know, blogs, SEO, things like that. That's how you market products with via e-commerce channels. Okay, so I want you to understand that. Ensure that you understand how you're going to market the product. Okay, don't just focus on your stock. That, oh, now I have stock. Let me find the influencer that will get rid of the stock. That's what I've seen it happen so many times. You get stock and then you want to find one big shot influencer that you partner with that will help you clear the stock. It is not the influencer's job to clear your stock. Influencers are not salespeople. They are for awareness. They are for awareness and to help you build interest. The sales is up to you and your business. Never forget that. Influencers are not salespeople. This is the biggest. I feel like I'm talking to a particular person, and I really hope the person sees this video. I'm not going to mention the gender because just in case. But yes, influencers are not salespeople. They are more for top of funnel, awareness and interest. It's now up to you to then convert them into salespeople through promotions, through email marketing, through retargeting ads, things like that. Okay, make sure you understand this thing in your head. Marketing is not sales. Marketing is not sales, but you need marketing in e-commerce. It is extremely necessary. And the reason I'm saying this is just to give you some context. Remember we spoke about retail or traditional commerce, right? Most times they're in a fixed space. So you go to a shop, let's say you go to a ShopRite or something like that. There is a fixed number of shelves in that particular space, right? Good. With e-commerce, there is no shelf. So what do? You run ads, you promote, you build online communities, things like that. So as you're building your business, understand that these are the things you need to also do to get rid of that stock or to sell that stock. Maybe not get rid of it. Just make sure you sell it. So now that I've spoken about marketing, you're probably thinking in your head that, oh, that means I should be on Google. That means I should be on TikTok. That means I should be on Instagram. I should be on Facebook. I should be on... Relax. You are a growing business. You know, I don't like calling people small businesses, but ideally, you are a growing business. There's a very high chance that this is just you and your mother, or you and your auntie, or you and your cousin, or you and your brother. That's if it's even you and somebody else. It might just be you. So pace yourself. And what do I mean by that? Pick one channel. Pick one channel. This particular e-commerce store that I'm using as reference for this particular channel throughout this year, the main channel was Instagram. That was our main channel. Our second channel was Facebook. Our third channel was email marketing. And if you look at the numbers of the volume of sales we got per channel, you would see that that's exactly how the money came. Majority of our sales came from Instagram. Majority of our sales came from the ads that we ran on Instagram. Things like that. So don't try to be everywhere. Don't try to be everywhere. Don't try to run Google ads and then also run Instagram ads and then also be posting on TikTok and be posting on Twitter. Let me just be everywhere. It's the same, and this because it's the same content, I can post it everywhere. Don't try it. Let's be serious here. Don't do it. Don't do it. Now, I'll give you a very, very quick masterclass. Quick, free. If you run what they call a demand-driven business, what do I mean by that? Demand in the sense where people need that product. They don't want it. It's not aspirational, right? Some people say that these are pain products. Then you can say, okay, I want to run Google ads. For example, somebody that has ulcer, there's a particular drug that they would probably need, right? And again, the health niche is very, 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 very difficult for you to run as an e-commerce business. But let me just use it as an example. Somebody that has ulcer needs a particular type of drug. You can run Google ads specifically around keywords and around certain websites and stuff like that target people that when they search for that, they will see your store and then they will see your products. Okay? That's when you want to look at things like Google. Now, if you're selling things that are more passion driven, things like fashion, things like food, see, Instagram is your house. Instagram and Facebook, that's where you build your house. If you're selling things like interior design, stuff like that, Instagram. Just Instagram and Facebook. Now, TikTok too works very well. TikTok too works very, very well. My only issue with TikTok right now is we are currently not allowed to create what I call a TikTok's ads manager account. So when you run ads on Facebook or Instagram, I always tell you that you want to run ads from Meta. Meta is the ads manager, right? So Meta Business Suite and then Meta Ads Manager. If all this sounds like Spanish to you, don't worry. I have a particular video. I talk about how you can set this up for your business. You see that boost posts or promote posts that people have been doing since. Well, I don't know. Hopefully you don't do it, but people do it and people tell people to do it. Hopefully you're not part of those people. If you've ever promoted a post or boosted a post, after watching this video, you must never do it again. Damini has told you so. Never do it again. Please don't waste money on that crap. Okay? Anyways, you go to the Meta Ads Manager and then you set up your ad. With TikTok, we currently don't have access to that in Nigeria. In other parts of the world, it's already available. Other parts of the world even have TikTok shop. Now, maybe in 2026, these things will come. TikTok Ads Manager, TikTok shop will come to Nigeria. Maybe. Time will tell. But for now, Meta. Focus on Meta. I say that because with Meta, it's like 3 in 1. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. They're all owned by the same company. And in a way, the same man. But you have those 3 strong platforms. Those 3 strong platforms. And that's what I'm telling you. And a lot of people think I'm biased here. And maybe I am a bit biased. But that's why I always tell people to just focus on that. Because the odds or the chances that your customers are on Instagram scrolling, or on Facebook also scrolling, is extremely high. Okay? So yeah, I have a few videos you can go and watch, learn how to do this better, things like that. But moral of the story, don't stretch yourself too thin trying to be on every channel. Pick one very strong channel and then make sure you are the best, or you learn how to do things the best possible way on that particular channel. Another thing I learned the hard way was trying to be the cheapest person in the market so I can get sales. Now, cheap customers are terrible customers. Terrible customers. I'm telling you this because cheap customers don't come back. And even if they come back, they come for more discount, which I feel is unfair. Cheap customers don't care about your health. They don't care about your business. So don't sell to cheap customers. Don't do it. Leave the cheap customers to people, to businesses that can afford to sell to cheap customers. You and I, we can't afford to sell to cheap customers. So avoid it. On a more serious note, don't be the cheapest person in the market. If possible, try to be in the middle. Or ideally, the sweetest spot is to sell to be on the premium side and sell to the most expensive or to the most wealthy customers, that sort of thing. The reason I'm saying that is, and I'll give you a very good example. Let's say you have a product that sells for 1 million naira. To make 10 million naira is 10 people. If you have a product that sells for 10,000 naira, you need about 1,000 people, if I'm not mistaken. The struggle and the stress to sell to 10 people for 1 million naira is easier than selling to people, to 10,000 people. Trust me. The English you have to speak, the WhatsApp messages you have to respond to, the marketing spend you have to even spend. You know, when you calculate all those things, you will begin to understand that, let me just be selling to rich people. Now, the reason why you probably can't sell to rich people is because you currently don't have the packaging, or you don't have the product that rich people want. That's another thing entirely, right? But what I'm just trying to say is, don't be the cheapest person in the market. Don't be the cheapest person in the market. When you're calculating your products to sell, how you do your margins and things like that. And again, if you go back to Oja Digital, there's a costing calculator there. Go and use it, right? Make sure your margins are between 35 to 50%. Ideally, if worst case scenario, you can even push it to 70, right? But don't be the cheapest person in the market. I'm saying this because if you're the cheapest person in the market, you will not have enough to sustain yourself and sustain your business. One must suffer. And most times, it's your business that suffers. So you now end up closing the business. So basically, don't be the cheapest person in the market, please. And 1 year, that's your marketing and business plan for that 1 year. In 3 years, there needs to be extensive growth in your business. There needs to be growth. There needs to be movement. And you need to think of it. You don't need to put all these things down in paper. but there needs to be a vision. As the owner of your business, you are part of the visionary crew. As if it's not just a one-person shop. If it's a one-person shop, you are the visionary. And your job in the next 3 years, most likely, is probably to look for how to add other people into the business. If it's still you running the business alone, after 3 years, there's a problem, right? You need to have added more people. And I say this because in 3 years, your business ideally should have grown, either by customer base or by product, which ideally will still lead to customer base. And then those two things will then hit your sales. So that means you will make more money. Now, to handle more customers and to make more money, you need more people. Don't think you can do it by yourself. Fine, you can use AI, all of that. But ideally, you want people to come in and manage those AI tools. So you still need more people. Okay? So as I said, in 3 years, there must be growth. Now, in 5 years, you would then ask yourself, are you still interested in this business? That's you need to have these things at the back of your head. A 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10-year plan. By 10 years, you probably begin to, and this is if you do it well, you will definitely be crossing 100 or 200 million. It's bound to happen because now you have customer base, you have product market fit, you have all those kind of things that you have done within that long period of time. If you are thinking of your business just in 2-3 months, next month, 1 year, you can't think this far. Now, I'm not saying that you need to write things down or document or have like a full-fledged business plan or 10-year strategy plan. No, we have not gotten there yet. That's for later down the line. That's when you go from a micro business to a small business and then a medium business, right? You've not even gone to the large enterprises yet. Those sort of things. But as you grow, ideally, you then begin to add more people to your team that begin to add more value and also see the vision and then things like that. But yes, this particular stage, just think 1, 3, 5, 10. The 3, the 5, the 10, just begin to imagine it. You can have like a vision board or a mood board, that sort of thing, where you want to see the business going. You begin to see other people that are doing things that are similar to you, that are older than you in the business. Oh, this business it's been there for 3 years. You begin to take pictures, you begin to save, you begin to understand their processes and see how you can add these things to your own business in the next 2 to 3 years. I just need you to be thinking in this manner. Just think in that manner. Don't be myopic. Don't be small-minded. Don't be small-minded. I'm saying this because just don't be small-minded, guys. There's some things I don't want to say. There's some things I don't want to say, but I beg of you, don't be small-minded. Don't be pessimistic. Don't be cynical. Don't be that person. Trust me, there's no value there. You're doing yourself. Everybody around you will succeed and you'll be the only failure. This is not a motivational video. Just think sharp. Think sharp. Dream big. Pursue and dream big. That's pretty much all I'm going to say in this particular one. You will think that you need a lot of customers in your business at the beginning for you to make money. Business is a numbers game. There are emotions and then there's spirit involved in business. I agree. But it is a numbers game. Understand your numbers. Understand your conversion rate. Understand your average order value. Understand your customer acquisition cost. Understand your lifetime value. Understand your return on ad spend. Understand your ROI. Understand repeat purchase frequencies. Once you understand all these things in your business, once you have money to invest in the business, it will be like fuel. When you pour fuel on fire, the business will just blow. Blah. I'm saying this because this year I spent about I've spent so far about 1.9 to 2 million naira on ads. Last year, I think I spent I definitely spent less than $1 million. Abi? I need to check. But this year, I knew that, okay, you know what? I need to increase the amount of money I spend on ads. I can't be conservative. So each month, I was spending at least 100K. Right? Okay, no, in January I spent only 9K. Funny enough, I made over 900K over $1 million in January. Can't remember at the moment. But then this November, December, we scaled up. Because you know that, yeah, this is peak season. We need to get our act right, our creatives, our email marketing senders, our abandoned carts messages, our posts. Like everything was on lock this year. And that's because we understand the numbers. You need to understand the numbers in your business. Somebody should not come to your business and look at it and understand certain things in your own business more than you. That's your first mistake. So you understand your numbers. Understand your numbers and then begin to look for how you can grow or scale those numbers. One of the easiest things I want you to understand, and this is just to make it, this is also to simplify what I'm saying. Because when I say understand numbers, it sounds a bit broad and vague. Once you get your first 1,000 customers, okay? First 1,000 customers, your business or your e-commerce business should never shut down. You should make enough money to sustain the business. Maybe not sustain you, because I don't know your appetite if you want to buy G-Wagon or anything like that. But ideally, you should maintain enough money, enough revenue to sustain the business. What do I mean? 1,000 customers. Ideally, most times, you want to have a repeat purchase of 25 to 35%. That means at least 250 people to 350 people will come back and patronize you within a year. That is your lifetime value. Again, as you build your business and understand which products sell well, which kind of customers come back to patronize you, word of mouth marketing will kick in, all those amazing things, you will understand what I'm saying. These things right now, if you're just starting, you will not understand what I'm saying. You will not understand it. But I want you to learn and be on the lookout for it. Once you get your first 1,000 customers, ideally, 200 of those people should come back and patronize you. So if you sell a product of 30,000 Naira, at least you know that once the year starts, between the beginning of the year and the end of the year, at least what's that? That's 600,000. I mean, 200? No, 200 times 30. That's 6 million. Sorry. I'm on my mass. I've been yapping for a while. Anyways, that's pretty much that's how it works. That's how you need to understand your numbers. This is probably, after understanding that the customer comes first, this is the second most important thing. And you will scale. You will scale, guys. You will scale. For those of you that are still watching this video, wow. Thank you so much for, watching it till this point. Hopefully you find value. And, the whole point of this channel, let me just go off a tangent a bit. Just give me 1 minute to go off a tangent a bit. But the whole point of this channel was to try to show people what's possible, right? And then kind of break that mental barrier of, there are no jobs, there are no jobs, or there's no capital to start a business, things like that. There are ways where you can leverage the problems that are in society to find solutions, and then you can also, you can provide a living for yourself and your loved ones and your family from those solutions. And it's nothing illegal, guys. Please, this is like, I know, the legal talk, right, doing all those kind of funny things is becoming cool, but it's not cool. It's not cool. There are other things you can do that are cool, right? And I see a lot of young boys and young ladies playing around in this e-commerce space, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy. So, as usual, if you have any comments, you have any questions, I'm in the comments. I'm responding to the ones that I know I need to respond to. Any negative stuff, I've stopped responding to it because I just feel it's a bit of small-minded behavior, and there's no point. I feel like if somebody's like that, they're like that for a reason. Anyways, my last video for the year. Next year is going to be so much fun, guys. I am so excited because a lot of my videos next year would be proper solutions-driven videos. Like, guy, do this and you'll get this. So I'm very excited. Anyways, I say all that to say, if you've not subscribed, you are still here. Subscribe. Subscribe, share with your friends, tell them about this video so that they can learn how to improve, and then they can subscribe, then watch my future videos so that they can learn how to grow their business, right? And then if they want to learn about advertising, right, running meta ads, things like that. It is a superpower to have as an e-commerce business owner, right? Even if you want to outsource it to another agency or something, just to make sure that you understand what they are doing, it's good that you understand it. I have a playlist you can go and watch. Again, in any of those videos, ask me questions, I'll respond. And then if you know that you want to start an e-commerce business, maybe you've heard about dropshipping, right? What does that look like? I have a full course for free here on YouTube. You can go and watch that, right? If you have any other questions, you know where to find me. Have an amazing end of year, and I'll see you guys in 2026. Love you guys.